Nichols Dairy. If you know Beaver, and you don't, but I'm going to tell you a story because this is what old people do. I remember when I worked in Ohio and was in Pittsburgh, 7 days a week, back and forth, but I would literally go out of my way after I'd be on the main drag in Beaver, up over the hill, past the hospital, and stop at their little supermarket out there because they had milk in glass bottles, all sorts of great stuff, wonderful people. Her father is Dale, who actually worked there, and she is here tonight shooting my video. So I am honored to say hello again to the Nickel family, and thank you for those great memories. And you know how much I love agriculture, and you know how much I love the dairy industry. Just ask Elder Vogel, he'll tell you, the great state senator, a dairy farmer, or Mr. Joe Dentisi and Joe Carson at United Dairy. So there you go, a little bit of history. Absolutely love that family. Milk in a glass bottle, the simple things in life. Okay, now listen. Now, they don't drink milk out of the bottle, that's the Indianapolis 500, but they will be throwing Hershey Kisses. It's Hershey, Pennsylvania. Tomorrow morning, you have got at 1 o'clock, actually the afternoon, 1 o'clock, you have got Jeanette taking on Homer City. Now, Jeanette, some of the key players, left tackle Jalen Jones, a senior, junior left guard, Drake Petrillo, sophomore center, Cam Fellbaum, and their senior quarterback, Robert Kennedy. Listen, I just want to talk about the speed of Jeanette and the history of Jeanette and how many times Terrell Pryor had them right there. A lot of history. And I got to tell you, it's nice to see them back in the championship game.
It is, yeah. Terrell Pryor, obviously a very athletic guy. And now that they're back, you mentioned one of their left tackles. It's important to have a key, strong offensive line. Sometimes that can be overlooked, but I'm sure not by a quarterback. So it's good to see them back.
Now, this is what's so cool about this. This is kind of like I used to do it in television. You're playing me, okay? You basically, I'm doing all the work, and you're filling in the blanks. I get it. I'm playing the guy that used to sit with me, so it's good. But he carried me with the Steelers and Penguins, and I appreciate it. Now, Class 2A game, Friday at 1 o'clock, Southern Columbia and Wilmington. The only reason I'm mentioning this game is Southern Columbia is a powerhouse. They have been a powerhouse forever. And back when I was doing those great television shows, Rochester, just across the way, which happens to be Mr. Papa's hometown, Frank Papa, they dominated Class A, and one of the teams that they always seem to come up against in the state championship game was Southern Columbia. So finally they get bumped up where they should have been a long time ago to Class 2A. So that's that game. Now, Class 3A, Saturday at noon. These are all PIAA championship games coming up at Hershey starting tomorrow. Middletown taking on Quaker Valley. Jerry Vecchio, every time he tried to get out, they kept bringing him back. He came back. He's just in for 1 year. And 30 years later, he's got him in the state championship game. And the only thing I keep hearing about is his quarterback. And I know there's much more to the Quakers than the quarterback, but Ricky Gus is a young man that really has lived up to the billing. He's had a big year, and now he's on that big stage. So Quaker Valley, a team that beat Aliquippa 2-0 in the WPIAL championship game.
Yeah, that was kind of an interesting game, really defensive. I think I remember reading that they had a number of penalties, both teams. And I also remember that, rainy fields, different stuff like that. So 2-0, you don't see that too often, but yeah, good for them. They got the 2.
All right, Inham Hop and Cathedral Prep in the Class 4A Thursday game at 7. Now to a couple of games that really matter in this part of the country. Class 5A Friday at 7 o'clock, Archbishop Wood taking on Gateway. And I've told this story many times. Christine Brown Murphy of Zachariah Brown, Carl Zachariah and Justin Ellis and Ben Urso and Colleen Brakovich. Well, Christine's wonderful husband happens to be from New Brighton, Pennsylvania, Pete Murphy, and he has eaten at these Brighton hot dog shops many times, and he's the principal at Gateway. And I'm so happy to see Gateway back in the championship game. Quarterback Brady Walker and Courtney Jackson. It's Archbishop Wood and Gateway, Class 5A, Friday at 7 p.m. Best of luck to everyone who is a big Gateway Gator fan, and I happen to be one and have been for a very long time. It's nice. Now, Class 6A, Saturday at 6 p.m. This is something you should know a little bit about.
I do know about this.
Even though you went to North Allegheny, you know all about Pine Richland.
Yes.
Rams are 15-0. Quarterback Phil Jerkovic should have went to Pitt. But he's going to Notre Dame, and that's okay, because you see, just about from right where we are, 13 miles that way, little town called East Liverpool, which happens to be the home of the Lou Holtz Upper Ohio Valley Hall of Fame. Maybe you heard of him. Not from his broadcasting career, but his football career. Was once the head coach of Notre Dame. They beat Manheim Township 28-7. He literally was on his sickbed, and he pulled himself up and got into the game. Some other players, Jordan Crawford defensively, did a great job, and he is a defensive back to be reckoned with. You know, one thing, their coach, though, who played a number of years for Jack McCurry at North Hills, played for Pitt, hard-nosed player, hard-nosed coach. I think you got to give him a lot of credit for turning this program around. And they had a lot of success. Then once they had bumped up to another class, it kind of fell off a little bit because of playing teams like North Allegheny and Central Catholic and others, and they seem like they've got it turned around.
They do, yeah. I think they're undefeated, right? I mean, so
15-0.
Yeah, so that's pretty impressive. You know, when you have a team who can believe in their coaching staff, who has a guy who's, you said, played there, played before and everything like that. It makes a world of difference when you have a group of guys who can believe in the coach. It does a lot for the team, and again, like I said, playmaker, quarterback as well. Doesn't hurt.
Eric, congratulations on a great year and best of luck. So, anything else on your mind before we say goodnight? What else are you thinking about? Maybe some bowl games we're going to talk about tomorrow night with Gino DeMarco.
Yeah, the bowl game should be good. I think the playoff. I think Alabama deserved it over Ohio State. Although
do you think Oklahoma's a favorite?
I think Oklahoma's a very solid team. You can't dismiss Clemson though. Clemson's been there a number of times. They still have a solid team, and they're number one for a reason. So it'll be a good playoff. But I think all four teams deserved those spots, and it should be exciting.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap from the Brighton Hot Dog Shop. Good night.